folks. Hello Twitch, hello YouTube. We are streaming Pac-Man in Minecraft, episode 4. So we have come along quite a way since episode 1. I haven't really touched the game too much since we last met last week at the same time. Actually an hour earlier because daylight savings time ended, so or hour later, whatever, you know. Nonetheless, we are still working on getting the Piglin circuit working. Hey Aegis, thank you for joining the stream. We're still working on getting the Piglin circuit in the nether working. I've had some ideas over the last week to improve that. But the first thing I want to touch is this circuit right here, which is this item counter. That's how I know that all the drops have been completed each level. So yeah, 78 items basically are dropped and I count them up. And I talked about this last week where basically once in a while, if you die in the middle of the item counting process, it doesn't reset properly. And I have a feeling it's because of this line right here. I have a feeling maybe this is getting some sort of power from the sorting. So this right here, this magenta line actually sorts the iron nuggets that you drop, and then this purple line resets. So I just installed the camera utils mod, and what I'm planning on doing is detaching my camera, pointing it down at this circuit, and then going in the game playing, dying as mid-count, so no piglins need to be involved or anything, and then just watching down here. So I'm gonna do that really quick. I've never really used this mod before. There's a detached camera option, so yeah, you can see this is so weird. Everything's inverted. So there's this detached camera thing that I can do. So it should remember this placement as long as I do I believe it's right alt and then hit my hotkey again. So I'm gonna reattach I guess my camera, so it should be in that position if I read the tutorial correctly. Okay, it looks like the game is in some sort of weird limbo state, so let me get all this straightened out really quick. Looks like the game is convinced that it's running. That's fine. Let's just end the game and then it will reset really quick. Okay, minecarts are running. Everything will be fine. So I don't know what state I left this thing in. I'm sure some circuits are all backwards and what have you. So is this open? That's open. That means the other side is open as well. That does feel really weird, just like detaching the camera, especially like, I think I have this correct. So if I put myself down here, if I hold right alt and then hit that detach again, yeah, so I'm in the same, it's in the same position. You could totally get lost though. I could see this being very, very confusing. I think this is how Joe Hills in Hermitcraft literally films his episodes. I believe XB Crafted as well uses this to actually film episodes. I have no idea how you would pull that off. That seems so confusing to me. But they're pros, so totally fine. All right, let's see. Is this reset yet? Okay, looks like it should be reset. So let's check. Oh, my piglin died. Either that or he despawned. Probably died. All right, no big deal. Let's pop another one in. Get in there. Thank you. Okay. And this open. Wow, this thing is just in a weird state right now. Okay, let's turn that off. That should turn that off. Okay, good. Or no, that actually is the state that it needs to be in. What am I even talking about? I'm getting confused with my own systems. I leave for a week, not even a full week, and I'm completely lost in how this thing works. Okay, let's see. Do this. Okay, I'm just gonna gather up a couple of these bad boys and get it counting. All right, the timing's gonna be critical. So let's do a few, so it'll definitely be counting, because the counting mechanism does take a little bit of time. All right, we should be good. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna end up having a piglin egg in the machinery, but whatever, that should be fine. Okay, throw it in, give it a couple seconds to start counting. Okay, it's counting. I'm gonna kill myself. And then, will this work? No, it's not gonna work before. I should have killed myself. Great. No, that's not gonna work. It worked this time anyways. That's the weird thing, is I need to catch it. Yeah, it worked anyways. So that didn't, let's try that again. Sorry if this is not the most exciting stuff for you guys. I know exactly, the brainwaves will get me back on. Is the score countdown thing the thing you need to sort out today, or is it, we're just gonna do more tests and stuff? The thing I'm gonna sort out today is the piglin spawning in the nether. So I did make a little bit of progress on that, and that's what we were working on last week, but I want to just take that to the next level and basically get it all straightened out. I have quite a few ideas. I was doing weird stuff last week and over the weekend a little bit as well on that specific circuit. So let's try this again. Let's hit this guy. Down we go. Gather, gather, gather. All right, I have quite a few now, so that should be good. Okay, now before I kill myself, so I don't know if I can kill myself while I'm in that other view, but let's just see what happens. So Alt, boom. Yeah, I should be able to, right when it starts counting. Yep, that's exactly, see it's pulsing over there on the right side. That purple line is pulsing like, so yeah, it's definitely getting powered. Okay, that's what I thought was happening. Awesome. That's easily explained and very easy to fix. All I need to do is just scoot this line over a little bit. So I'll just move the whole line over here. That should be fine. That should not be getting, this block should not be getting powered. It's this block, I think, that's sending the signal. So that should be good. All right, and I guess I could just go straight at it like that. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. I assumed that's what's, oh, that might be a problem too. Maybe I'll just move it over twice, just to be certain. All these noodles are getting very noodly. All right. I didn't mess up anything else, did I? Okay, good. Okay, that should be fine. And then, yeah, I can't bring it off that, so this should be fine. Of course, that might run out of juice. Yep. Okay, let's just place that one. Is that gonna make it all the way? It will not, so I'll hit this with another repeater. And that should do the business. Yes, 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 yes. Do we even need this? Yeah, we don't need that at this point because I'm hitting it directly with the repeater. Okay, let's test it one more time in the same way. Hey Skulk, thank you for joining. I think block repeater is going to be powering the block below for sure. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Exactly. Like this. Well, I think this one. Yeah, because this block would be getting powered. This block would be getting powered. So, yeah, I have to have it at this point. This shouldn't be getting powered though. Whoa, what am I doing? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just test it, and then we'll go from there. And if it is getting powered, then I'll drop it one more. Okay. Or I'll do like a slab or something. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Down we go. Gather, gather, gather. Sorry, this is not the most exciting thing because I don't have piglins chasing me trying to eat my face, but this is how things go. Let's gather a bunch. Let's Let's do this long strip so we have quite a few. So the timing is going to work out. Okay, so I will throw it in and then detach and then get this ready as soon as it starts counting. Counting and boom. No. No, 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 no. I think I need to put a repeater on it. Or is that where it needs to be? No, I think, okay, I can't really point at it, but let me detach again. So the problem still exists because of the delay over here. So this, we had a pulse. So now it's really broken. Yeah, so this is just gonna continually hit a dry dropper right now because this piston spit out the observer. Okay, let's try this. Let's do like a 4-tick delay on that. So this piston needs a second to retract. Okay, yeah, let's give that a try. I'm gonna put that as a 2-tick delay. I forget the reasoning behind me having a delay here. So essentially when this dropper gets, this is the kind of, the storage dropper, I should say. So this is the main dropper, and this dropper, as it counts, will kick items into this storage dropper, I guess I'll call it for lack of a better term. And that's the storage dropper that I need to completely empty out in between levels, because I can't be mid-count in between levels. So when this storage dropper has items in it, it will kick on this comparator, which will turn off this torch and then retract this piston. So this piston will just be out of the way. So this is kind of my little fail-safe of pushing it back and forth. I think what's happening is the timing of this repeater and this repeater are not coordinated well. So that's why I ended up spitting out this this observer. Which, speaking of, I have to fix that or else we're gonna wrong way. I always forget which way observers go. So there we go. So that will just be a good little temporary reset. Oops. And now we test it again. Okay. Yeah, soft powering, hard powering. Yeah, because these guys, how redstone, I'm sure you guys understand, but when you have a line going over, these blocks are not actually getting powered. But when you have something like this block is actually getting powered because it's not, the redstone isn't going across it, it's actually sending a signal into it. And this one obviously is getting powered directly from this repeater. So yeah, that's like the reason that you have to use target blocks and stuff like that once in a while when you have just redstone lines. Okay, clear again. What am I doing? Oh, I got caps lock on. Okay, here we go. Another test. The last 3 vaults you opened, Skulk, had 3 heavy cores. Is that on Astraea? The astraeasmp is, for those who are not in the know, is the SMP that Aegis and Skulk in the chat, along with me, play on. So. Alright, where am I? Where am I? Okay, over here. Okay, here we go. Again, another test. Throw it in first. Detach camera. When it starts counting. Okay, so piston lifted up. Boom. All right, that piston didn't get spit out, or that observer didn't get spit out. And we're good. It reset. Oh, it's still counting though. Son of a gun. It's because the observer's kicking at me faster. How can I correct that? It's because the, what I was just explaining a second ago, this circuit, I might not be able to do this on stream. because I might have to think about this for a little bit longer. Where is the circuit? Right over here. As items go through this hopper chain, they're getting counted by this comparator down here. And then one at a time, see now it's got items in it. One at a time, these sticks are being moved from this dropper to this dropper. So I reset it, but these observers are going so fast that the counting mechanism is actually still occurring. So basically I'd have to I think I have to lock the count. So this dropper will not actually continue counting, continue trying to move elements from here to here as this dropper is emptying. And that is gonna be a pain in the butt. Because what's happening is basically this dropper is emptying with this observer clock, pushing it up into this chest boat, and then funneling down these hoppers. And as soon as it's empty, even if it's like in between counts, as soon as it's empty, this comparator will kick off, and then this piston will try to push the block back down, ending the reset. Jeez, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? All right, I might just move on to the piglin thing unless I have like some eureka moment here. Right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to do something really quick on the stream. I'm getting unstable from Twitch. All right, let's try this again on Twitch. Not a big deal because no one's really watching on Twitch, but okay, back to the mainstream. Okay, and how would I do that? I just want to give it a few more seconds of thinking about this. That's probably why I had a delay on that. Let's do a 4-tick delay again and see what happens. See if the timing is still all right. I bet that's why I had a delay, because between counts, if I give it a 4-tick delay, it'll have enough time for this observer clock to still be emptying while the items are counting, and then it just cycles around. I don't really care if if it's basically just cycling around, as long as this observer clock doesn't kick off prematurely. That's the only real issue I have with the circuit. So I think just a 4-tick delay should be fine, but that might mess up the timing here, so I might have to add another repeater and get 5 or 6 ticks over here. But yeah, the point counter is something I had to make myself. Kind of went through this briefly, and Aegis asked this in chat. I went through this briefly in the last stream, but essentially these are some of the other pulse dividers is what the technical name is. Other pulse dividers that I went through. Essentially these two, I built a few more, but I didn't save them. But essentially the way pulse dividers work is, like in this instance, you're getting a signal from some block on this side. So if I just did, well, that's not gonna work. If I just did, let me think here, a button. I just counted an element, or counted a pulse, and then moved elements from this dropper, items from this dropper to this dropper. So this is what's considered a no reset, but the only problem is the way my game works is I have to be able to I don't have to necessarily just count, say, 64 pulses or 64 items dropped, and then another 64 and another set of 64, another 64. Some games are, rely on that mechanic where you're just counting like 4 pulses or 5 pulses, and then you're doing something after 5 pulses, like, I don't know, maybe hit this button 5 times or something. I don't know what kind of game would work on that mechanic, but my game works an item drop. So you pick up 78 items, And at the end of the 78 items, if you're continuing to play, then I'm waiting for the next 78, and this system would work totally fine. But if you die in between, then the next player that comes in will have a deduction of items from where you died. So if you only picked up half the items, you complete level 1, say. So you pick up all the items. Then you only complete half the items on level 2. The next player that comes in, and then you die. The next player that comes in is now going to have half the items already counted toward his score. And that's not fair in the game. So I have to somehow like reset the system. So that's when this guy came into play. And this is a stateless or dropperless, itemless, I guess you could say. So it uses comparator logic or comparator state. And it's basically just 2 layers. So the top layer can count 15 pulses and the bottom layer can count 15 pulses. So in total, it's 15 times 15 that this thing can count. The problem with this is it takes so long for a signal to go through. You'll see, like, here, let me reset it. So it's reset. This is how many pulses. This number right here is counting down pulses. Now watch. If I do that, see how fast that counted? So it's because this can only handle a super quick burst, like an observer, like a single pulse. If it has a longer pulse, then it'll count down faster. And when items are flowing through a hopper chain, the pulses can be long. And if I do an observer and detect the items passing through, the observer is going to detect 2 for every item. So then I could double it up, I guess, but then that's getting like crazy. So I was having very inconsistent results with this one. So I invented this one, which essentially is the same as that first system where you're just moving items between droppers, except for I am moving items between droppers and then emptying those items from this dropper back into this dropper based on a reset mechanism, which is this. And the reason I had the chest boat is because I needed to speed up the reset mechanism. And one easy way to speed up a reset mechanism when you're relying on hopper speed is to double up your hoppers. So this, if I look at the hitboxes, this hitbox is actually covering not only this dropper, so this dropper right here, this dropper can push items into this chest boat, but it's also covering these 2 hoppers. So while items are getting pushed, items are getting dropped off, because a chest boat's very fast at dropping off items, kind of like a hopper minecart. That's the long and short of it. But obviously it needs to integrate into the system, so that's, quite a process. Okay, let's go back. I don't know why I'm getting unstable when, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore Twitch for right now. Okay, let's go back to this. Let's test it once again. Everything's set. Everything should be reset. Nope, gotta reset it really quick. That should be 14. Yes, okay. So let's run back, punch our piggy, and try it again. So all I did right now, all I'm testing is the increase in delay with those repeaters. But I think that'll work. think is a strong. I'm not very confident that this is gonna work. All right, let's see. Let's drop it. Get into the camera. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. Okay, it worked. It's still counting. Okay, that one worked, but the count was short. Let me try to throw a ton of items in there and see if it works again. Okay. When this level resets, which takes about a minute, we're gonna toss a bunch of items. How's everybody's weekend? You guys celebrate Halloween where you guys are? Yeah, things aren't looking up ages. Yeah. All right, let's do it again. Let's just get around the board and get like a bunch of drops. Just gonna try to get the majority, because if I get, you know, over a stack, I think will be good for the speed of the count, because the speed will definitely still be counting. That mechanism will definitely still be counting. These are always the areas I forget about when I'm actually for real playing the game. All right, and... Okay, that's stack and some. I'm just gonna throw a stack in though. Whoops, I keep on hitting function. There we go. All right. Get the count on. All right. Emptying, emptying, emptying. It is still counting. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. So somehow I have to delay even more this circuit. So this might have to wait. Because I don't even know, like the room and stuff I have. This guy needs even longer of a delay before it turns off. Or I need to rethink how the circuit goes up and down. Because I can't just rely on this dropper being empty, because this dropper will be empty for a moment, and that already, you know, sends a signal to this comparator. And then the next moment it's full again, and that's not giving enough time for this circuit to stop, to pause and think about it. Like, hey, do we still have items in it? My weekend was good. I did so you had cupcake decorating. Weekend was nice. Halloween isn't something we celebrate here in my community, but we did do celebrating. My friend just graduated and had her birthday. Oh, cool, cool. No, congratulations. Your friend graduating and a combined birthday. That's always nice. How it worked before with the original design on the pulses from the other line was probably keeping things up. Oh, which one are you referring to? This one? Or this one? I think I'm kind of stuck with this circuit, simply because of the reset mechanism. Like, I need some way to like move items back and forth between the droppers, so that's the way that's gonna have to work. However, I could potentially stop the count. Like, I could hit this guy and stop the count by just powering this block. I know I need a comparator directly into the side of it. So I'd have to hit like, I'd have to do something like that, even with a repeater. Like, I'd have to hit it right on the side there. And that would just stop it from counting. I don't think, I mean, I guess I could do like a falling edge kind of thing where it turns a pulse into a steady. That's something I'm gonna have to think about. I don't know what line I can even come off of. I guess it would be this line to come under here and then hit this. That's gonna be really tight, because if I hit this, like a block like here with the steady, then it's gonna lock the hopper, and that's gonna screw everything up. Or I could stop items flowing earlier. No, I can't do that, because then when they do start flowing, then it's gonna start counting again. Because if I lock any of the hoppers like on this side, then this mechanism can't even kick in because this is the hopper that's getting counted. So if I lock like this hopper or this hopper, then the count will be delayed. But that's the key term, it'll just be delayed. As items start flowing again when the delay stops, the next level, then we'll be in the same problem. Maybe a comparator reading from a copper bulb. I don't have a full grasp of that mechanism, so yeah, that'd be like a flip-flop, or a latch essentially. And I use that throughout, all over the place. I think this is a T flip-flop for opening and closing these piglin exit doors and stuff like that. The trouble is basically the timing of everything. So as items are flowing through this hopper chain, they're being counted by this comparator, which is sending a signal to this block, which is powering this dropper and pushing items into this dropper. So if I reset this dropper, the observer clock is only going to stay on until this dropper is empty, but this dropper will be empty between counts. So as items are flowing in far slower than this clock is firing. I wonder if I could just increase like delay here and here, and then I don't know if that'll give it enough time for the circuit to react. And here's the thing, as soon as, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna do a darn thing. Because as soon as this piston is powered once, then it will push down this block, thus killing the circuit. So there's really no way for me to like push it back up without getting another pulse, like another reset pulse into the system. So the only real way to stop it as it exists now without redoing the circuit is to stop this piston from getting pushed down. Even if, like here, I'll just kind of pretend like what's happening here. Oops, what am I doing? So as soon as an item goes in here, see that piston went up. So when an item is out, that piston goes down. So I need to stop the piston from going down. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this later. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. I have like a mess of logic here, all cascading and depending on different things happening. I'm trying to think of like, is it better for me to worry about it upstream, or is it better for me to worry about it downstream kind of thing? Meaning like my count mechanism, like somehow, because I could, if I somehow shut off, this is my filter system, if I somehow shut this off and then just had items flow, like I lock this one, and then items flow directly into the reset mechanism, like that could work as well. And I could reset, or I could shut this block off by just hitting it with a either having a torch next to it or a redstone block next to it. And if the filter's shut off, then items, because hopper logic is items like prefer to go down than they go over. So the only items currently that can go down are iron nuggets into this count system. So if I hit this with a lock, the items are not going to have a choice but even the iron nuggets but to flow through here. That might be the best answer. But when do I hit it? And I have to hit it like almost permanently in between reset stages, which would mean like right. No power coming out. As soon as power does come out. Because it needs it needs to be a T flip-flop. So, you know, a torch would, or a copper bulb would work. So the copper bulb kicks on a signal when the game is started, and then kicks off a signal when the game is ended. And right now the start line, I think, is what? The cyan line, I believe? No, it's the purple line. Where's the purple? No, purple line is reset. Start is, yeah, cyan. Cyan goes down here. Goes down here. Goes over here, over here. So I could work this in. So as soon as it gets this signal, copper bulb goes probably off or something, you know, what would, yeah, let me just, sorry, it's on my mind now, so we're solving it. Maybe solve it. I don't know. We might not solve it. Let's, it's got to be at this level. Whoop, not here. Here. Maybe, nope, 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 can't be there. Maybe here. Oh, it's getting power from that. That's not a big deal though. I can shut that off. We don't need that torch there, that's just something. So, pick up that. So this would be the game on, and this would be the game off. No, it needs to go one higher. Oh, is that gonna screw up something up here? I don't think so. What? No, that'll be fine. That'll be fine if that's permanently powered. Oh no, it doesn't need to be. Yeah. Okay, so right now this should be enable true. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, yeah, enable true, of course. And then enable false. Yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah, that is, and that's the one that needs to be. Yeah. Okay. I was overthinking things. All right. That's, I'm gonna be a stickler for this one. I don't want, oops. I want this to be a reset color, just so I'm organized somewhat. All right, so then game is off, which the game is off right now. So let's squirrel this guy around. Where can I bring this over? Maybe right over here? Trying to think of the best way to like bring this cyan line over. Ugh, this is gonna be ugly. All right. Yeah, torch is just for mount proof, and I can put the torches back when I get to that stage. What am I doing? This. All right, that'll be fine. Gee, these noodles are just getting worse and worse as we go. This is getting ridiculous. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're gonna do a little premature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be fine. This is gonna be yet another thing that I have to like run around and reset when things get out of sync. Okay, so that will turn it off. Which will turn that on, so really this should be the state. Yes, this should be the state right now. And then this guy should turn this off. Let's just move button to that side. Oh, gosh darn it. Off you go. Ooh, nope, 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 nope. I gotta reverse this signal. Yeah, nope, 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 that's not gonna work. Why is my logic failing me right now? Oh. This might need some cleaning up. And that's not gonna work either. What do I need? Oh. I've done this like a million times before. Why am I being a thick about it? Okay, I think I could do that. And then no, that's not gonna give me enough room to get up. And that's not gonna do it either. Well, I mean, I could. That's gonna look so stupid though. That should work. Yeah, that should be getting powered from that. Yeah, that'll work. 'Cause that'll power that block. Okay. But that's gonna send a signal back to this one too. No, I think it'll be fine. No, I mean, test it, test it, test it, test it. All right, so right now we're locked, and as soon as we start the game, that do I need to? Whoops, screwed up my detach. Let's go back over there and detach again. Where am I? Where am I? There it is. Because I need to be able to see all the doodads. Where's a good detach point? Right here, maybe? Yeah, because I can still see that cyan line coming in. I'll see the purple line, and then I'll be able to see this piston going up and down as well. This is that's a good spot. Hello. Okay. All right. Let's try again. First, let's yeah, light is on, so that means the game is on. That means items can be filtered, so we're good there. Oh, I love this camera utilities. You guys should have told me about this before. This is good. This is really, really helpful. Now I don't need anyone. I can do it all myself. All right. That should be enough. And okay, we're counting, we're counting, we're counting. Why is it not counting? I don't hear it counting? Am I just that far away from... Well, whatever. Hopefully it's still counting. Nope. I think it worked, but I don't like that pulse. I just need to redo that line there. Because it's getting like a crazy pulse. I think it's getting powered by that torch. That block is getting powered by that torch. No big deal. I'll figure that out in a second. But I think that worked. Yeah, I think we have success. It was still, no, we do not have success. How the heck did items get down there? Oh, it's because they're already in the chain. This whole thing this was a fool's errand. Because they are already being counted. They're already in these hoppers. So I'd have to like lock every single one of these hoppers. And then again, I would run into the exact same problem. So yeah, this whole idea isn't even gonna work. I mean, it's fine, but it's just not gonna work. Just resetting this really quick, so it doesn't have to make so many. Come on. Why are you not double clicking? There we go. All right. Really curious how I got a gold sword in there. Maybe that was from a previous test. Just putting the items back in this dropper. That drops all the food stuff. All right. I think I'm gonna move on to the piglin thing because again, this whole idea is just not gonna work. But you gotta try things. Yeah, there's a huge flaw in that whole logic. Somehow I basically have to hit this guy before it touches this piston. Which, I mean, that's another option too, is I like lock this on, like the state on. So when a repeater is on, you can hit it with power from the side and it'll lock it. If it's like, you know, a steady pulse. So I could use that logic where it's basically getting locked in the on space until, instead of tying it to this comparator, it gets tied to some other mechanism. But that would be a pain in the butt too. Because then how do I know it actually is empty? All right, we'll think about that later. Let's get into the nether. Yeah, such is life as the game developer for sure, Aegis. All right, let's go in here. All right, so what I did with the piglin harvesting mechanism is I was overdeveloping, as I tend to do. And I had a couple ideas that I tested after the last stream. One of my ideas was to put pumpkins on the piglin's head so they don't despawn. Turns out that's not going to be reliable. There are so few piglins, only piglins that are that will pick up objects and not just armor or weapons, but just regular objects on the ground, which is only like 5% of piglins, can actually have a carved pumpkin put on their head. So I would have to like be at this AFK chamber forever, you know, trying to get enough piglins to populate the system. So I think the better solution would be just to use the piglins that just spawn and just not get them out of view range or despawn range, you know? So I'm thinking this whole little idea here, which I had them marching down toward this turtle egg, and I had a dispenser over here. Let me turn on camera so you guys can actually see here. I had a dispenser here trying to dispense pumpkins on their head and all this stuff. Well, I left this mechanism live and it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. I don't need really anything. I can just drop these guys straight down to the ground because there's really no reason for me to not drop them straight to the ground. So I'm gonna just redo this really quick as a solid spawn chamber without any sort of powdered snow or a bottom at all, and then just drop them all the way down to the ground and then decide what to do with them there. My thinking is that I'll have one of those minecart systems, like the chain minecart systems. I've seen a lot of different technical Minecrafters use it. I think like Exuma, for instance, in Hermitcraft was using a very similar system for his gas station in Hermitcraft Season 10, where it's essentially a bunch of minecarts that are going over rails, and then you could deliver one at a time. So I'm thinking that what I'll have is like a big contraption down here that will put all the piglins into minecarts into like little stations. And then when I need more, I can just like push a button or run a clock that will empty those minecarts one at a time into this system over here. So, long story short, first step is to clear out all this nonsense that I had, because I don't need it. What am I doing? There we go. Erase. Erase. Alright, yeah, Aegis, you saw the gas station thing. I think Doc actually did it as well with regular gas, not happy gas. In Hermitcraft Season 9, maybe? In order to, one of the seasons where he pranked Green or somebody, and he got a bunch of, that was funny, got a bunch of gas into the overworld. He used a very similar system. I don't know, something about Hermitcraft and ghasts. Whether they're happy or not. They like to use this little minecart trolley system or whatever. I don't even know what you call it. All right, I'm going to clone the bottom of this so I can move it down to its station. So I know exactly where I'm dropping everybody. Let's do this. All right. I think the piglins would have lost their momentum by the time they get down here, so I'm thinking I could probably just keep it this size. If not, I'll increase it by a couple blocks in each direction. Let's keep it off the ground just a little bit. All right, then we're gonna have to do powdered snow to kill their momentum. So this part is going to be fairly similar to how I was catching them before, just way down here, and then carpet on top of that. And let's just put fences around to see if I need to expand this or not. See if I can catch them all. Pokemon. All right. Etho also used a minecart system to transport Drown in his Season 10 trying to farm. Yeah. It's probably a similar thing. I'll have to look up exactly how that circuit works. I know Hermitcraft didn't invent it or anything. It's a fairly popular one in the Minecraft community, technical community. But it's essentially a way for you to, almost like a train, only move the car that you're interested in moving one at a time. And I think that would work out really, really well for what I'm doing. All right, let's just spawn a bunch of these guys. All right, see if the momentum. Yes. Oh no, they're dying. Okay, so I gotta expand this a little bit. I don't know why they do that. they all bunch together. It's really funny. It's like, I've seen this a few times. It's very, very funny. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's expand it a little bit in each direction. Could probably just use this stack. Is that enough? Is that everything? Is that even the bottom? Yeah, it's the bottom. Okay. Not stack. Oh my god, what am I doing? Cancel that. No, just move. I'll just move it. It'll be the easiest. Not using my brain. Okay. Here we go. This way. I don't know if this is actually the best way to do this, but whatever. We're committed now. We're doing it. This is getting very confusing. Alright. I got it. And I went too far. No big deal. I'll fix that in a second. And this way. Alright, that's good. Let's fix this. Alright. I swear, is anyone else having this issue where Minecraft is actually getting turned down? I don't know if it's like a Windows 11 setting. I adjusted the whatever automatic audio enhancement or something like that. I turned all that stuff off and Minecraft is still getting turned down. Like, as I play it, it gets lower and lower and lower. It's gotta be a Windows thing. Unless Mojang actually added some sort of accessibility thing where, like volume control. You haven't faced that issue, I don't get it. I don't get what's going on. Alright, let's drop them again. See if that will do it. Yeah, I might be accidentally hitting a keybind too. Maybe some sort of shortcut that I'm not aware of that I'm hitting. I have like this mini keyboard, so my F keys aren't exactly super accessible to like, you know, the volume and everything, so it might be something like that, but I just noticed it recently. Like the last service patch to Windows 11. We're good, all have survived. Alright, now I somehow have to like run mine carts. Actually, I might just raise up the powdered snow so they fall through the powdered snow into just a bunch of mine carts that are like moving. That's probably gonna be better. Alright guys. I don't need you anymore though. You're useless to me. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this first. All right. And that will work on that level. Level and that level. Okay, so they'll fall through and then I'll just catch them. Let's make it nice. Make it nice. Let's catch them at this level. Actually, let's make these full blocks just in case I need to power them from underneath. I don't know why I'm using nether bricks. I don't even have a good source of these on Astrea. Whatever. This is all temporary anyways. Whoops. so I'll be able to catch them in here. Let me make sure none will escape. This should do the trick. Is that 2? Maybe I should make it 3 tall. Yeah, maybe I should make it 3 tall. Just to give them a little bit of headroom. Windows is very irritating for sure. It's always modifying settings on its own volition. Actually, I have power tools too, and just recently power tools installed this lightness mode switch where it's in the day it switches you to light, and then in the nighttime it switches you to dark mode. It's like, I don't want that, and it's automatically on. when it first came in, it took me a good half hour to figure out like what was happening. Why is my computer keep on switching from light to dark mode? Oh, it's a chicken. I'm like, what just died? It's a chicken jockey. Chicken jockey. Okay, they're making their way out, you little suckers. Yeah, these little guys are always the worst. I do have to exempt these guys though, so this might actually work in my benefit. That they can somehow. How are they getting out though? Like how are they landing and managing to squeeze themselves out? That's crazy. All right, but I do have to get those guys out of the system, which I had a system to do that a second ago, but I will work on that right now. All right, first off, probably need to extend maybe the fence or something like that. I don't even know. Actually, probably won't even use a fence. I'm gonna use the block gap thing. And then I will have the little babies scoot under this. Station a few eggs. That's one thing I had in my test a second ago. Is I had a like one turtle egg, and that was not enough. I need to like pack on the turtle eggs in order to exit, or in order to get all these baby zombies out of there as quickly as possible, because when you have a bunch of zombies, zombified piglins in one area, they start bumping into each other and stuff, and the babies get stuck. So I need like essentially a lot of options for them to get out. All right, turtle egg. Let's do the old soul sand and wither rose kill chamber kind of thing. So I was thinking is like align this. Probably need to raise this whole thing up so I have 2 blocks. Yeah. Oh, that is true. Yeah, okay, sorry, I just read your comment, Aegis. They're remembering the coordinates of the turtle egg. Yeah, that is a very, very good point. So I could actually possibly use that to my advantage by running a minecart in the center. But they're probably gonna, no, they won't stay for long because they're gonna end up getting motivated by the eggs that I'm about to place. So, whatever. I'll think through that in a second. Let me get this going first. That it? That'll work. All right, let's not get creative with this. Let's just replace all this with solid blocks just so we have the ability to power anything and run minecarts over and all that good stuff. All right. Solid blocks. All right, let's just do this as well. Again, this is just for testing purposes. I doubt I will keep this exactly the way it is. as far as the style and all that good stuff. All right, so we need this to be too wide. All these exit chambers. I don't think I'm gonna let them exit on the corners, because that's just gonna be a pain. Alright. Don't need that. I know I screwed this up somewhere. Okay. Here. 2. Alright. And alright. Death chamber. No one gets out alive. Might have to have one side be open though to run the mine carts, but let's just lay it out like this really quick. Get a feel for it, and then if we have another area that I can squeeze a mine cart through, I'll use that. Or I'll just take out one of these chambers. So I think 3 chambers would do it as far as keeping up. Alright, we're good. Place a bunch of other roses. Also do not have a supply of these, so hopefully someone on Astrea has a supply of wither roses. Oh, there's so many things that I'm just like putting in this game that I do not have a consistent supply of. Alright, and then trapdoors. That should do that. And I know I can copy and paste all this using Axiom, but this gives me a second to think. I'm still thinking about that item counting circuit, so. Sometimes a little bit of busy work will help get your brain kind of working, because you can actually focus on other things. All right, let's do fences. Actually, you know what? Let's just make this solid. And they shouldn't be able to jump out. Yeah, there's no way for them to jump out to get up on these sides. Definitely no way now. Alright, that'll do that. Let's go back up there and spawn a million and see what happens. No, they're not very acrobatic. In general, mobs aren't very acrobatic in this game, so this should work out. Except for donkeys. Or not donkeys. Except for goats. You cannot keep goats stationary. Those guys will jump anything. Man, I'm spawning a lot of chicken jockeys. Alright. Down we go. Is that tempting enough for you babies? Or are you all stuck? Oh, duh, turtle egg. I forgot the bait. Okay, let's needs a 2-block air gap above it, and that should suffice. Huh. let's kill all these guys. I don't even know if any babies were in there. I'm assuming so, but they might be stuck. Okay, so now they're going after those turtle eggs. How have I not spawned a baby? You have got to be kidding me. What's the chance? What is happening? This is insane. Okay, there's one. There's one. Okay, here he goes. All right. That is insane. How many did I have to spawn? Like 100? All right. Obviously that works. Let's test it up here though. It's like you said, Aegis. The fact that they're going for those turtle eggs in the center, I'm not sure if I'll still have that crowding issue. I'm assuming that it's because I placed the turtle eggs after the fact and they just didn't realize it. But I want to ensure that that is not going to be the case. There's a baby. Let's get one more baby. Because when they hit the bottom there, they're still convinced that they can... Here's two babies, good. They're still convinced that they can get... Even the adults are attracted to these eggs, typically. But they are not in this situation. Why? Like if I spawn one like this... Yeah, see, they're moving toward the edges because they are attracted to the turtle eggs, even though they can't get under this. That's my experience, at least from the game, unless I do something like this. Yeah, see, now they start moving away because it doesn't have a 2-block gap. But when they fall and their AI, yeah, see, now they're wandering more aimlessly. obviously wandering aimlessly. But it's, yeah, watch now. As soon as I remove these, they start gravitating toward those edges because they're convinced that they can actually get at these turtle eggs. They always prefer one direction over another. I don't know why. Probably northeast or something weird. Yeah, I think it is the northeast thing or southeast. Something like that where mobs tend to gravitate. But if they're all bunching in the center, I'm going to run into another problem. Then I'd have to like basically put everything in mine carts and then only separate the babies. Yeah, spell me right now. Maybe the powdered snow up top is doing weird things. That is true. I could move it even farther. There's one baby. Two babies. How are you guys still convinced? Maybe I need to pass them through powdered snow higher up? And then again down here? What if I do this? Like now, like... Hey guys! I don't know how he got up there. This is wild. Oh. Alright, whatever. It just took him, like, forever. right, I'll remove the powdered snow. Well, actually, let me get them down here first, and then I'll remove the powdered snow and just see what happens. They didn't actually bust that, did they? Oh, okay. All right, let's try that. All right. I don't think I've gotten a baby yet. There we go. There's a baby. A couple babies. All right. Let's wait for them to all fall so they don't despawn. Okay, I think that's it. All right. Powdered snow. Let's just do some block placement so we can kind of have a couple updates. This side is completely open. Yeah, they're just taking a long time to update. There we go. That's wild. Okay, now the babies are going. Okay, that's not a huge deal. Whatever. If it takes a while, it takes a while. They are just, their AI is so fixated on those turtle eggs that are still at the top. That's crazy. I think that's all the babies, so. Alright. That's insane. Alright, well. That's something I'm gonna have to contend with. It's like a timer thing, kind of, where I just have to wait it out. Mojang code walk, exactly. Yeah. Okay, let me test it like with the powdered snow back. Actually, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna test it with the powdered snow back, obviously. But I'm also going to put powdered snow up here. I don't know, maybe like slowing their fall up here might, I don't know, maybe they'll have time to reflect on the error of their ways. Okay. I could use spider webs too, but that'll really slow them dramatically. Should just put a spawner up here. At least one baby. That looks cool. If we're going for looks, that's sweet. Still don't understand how you guys are getting up here. I have to expand it even farther. Or just bring blocks all the way down, but that'll be a beast of a farm. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Breaking up. I'm placing more turtle eggs just in case it's like a quantity thing or something weird. Maybe they're searching around every couple game ticks or something, and if you have more, then there's more likely that they'll find it. I don't know. Grasping at straws a bit here. Okay. All right. Wasn't too bad. Let's do it again with more eggs. we go. I don't think that really made any difference whatsoever, so just remove that. Come on, give me a baby. There we go. Here's a baby. There's another baby. Yeah, they're just literally, I just saw the two babies like run toward the center. Wild. Absolutely wild. Just gotta wait it out. They are really locked in, for sure. These guys are wild. Sorry, I'm just looking at the OBS really quick here. Just making sure. Alright, cool, cool. All right. Come on, wake up. It's very consistent. It seems to be very consistent. It takes them like, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half, something like that, before they start dispersing. Okay, good. Aegis, that's what I was concerned with, because I'm still getting this like unstable message from Twitch. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Yeah, about a minute. That's what I would say. Like, I don't know if it just, they have to reevaluate their life or something. Can I forget to, there we go. Sorry. Sorry, dude, I just forgot to place that. Wow, I was really bad about placing these. I could just use powdered snow and freeze them too. That could be a little cheaper for me, at least. I don't know, I'm sure I could get a supplier though. We have that wither killing chamber in the end on Astrea. I probably could just use that with a bunch of chickens or something and get a bunch of roses. Magma blocks won't kill them. They're fireproof. That's the unfortunate thing about these little suckers. All right, let's do that one more test. Actually, if I do, no, the snow golems will immediately die unless I'm doing like the fire resist constant thing. Lava won't kill them either. Yeah, they're straight up like fireproof. Because I was trying to kill them in the overworld for my game, obviously, and the only thing that really works consistently is either freezing them in powdered snow or wither rose. Wither rose is obviously a little faster than the powdered snow, but both those approaches do work. All right, we got a bunch of babies on this pass. Good. I'm kind of counting in my head here. Nothing like watching paint dry in a stream. Yeah, even the baby got pushed out of the horde and still ran right back in. Wild. I wonder if this server will have any difference with this timing. Because we're running paper and stuff like that, so there might be some difference. Hopefully it's not slower, because that'll throw things off. Okay, here we go. Yep, and he ran down here, ran down there, okay. That cleared him out. Oh wow, yeah, we had quite a few babies. Okay, all right. So basically I just have to kind of wait it out. Which is fine, because I think, what is that, the mob cap, the hostile mob cap, it's like 20 or something like that. So I'll spawn 20 up on the platform above, come down here, and then kind of get all the minecarts prepared, flip a lever or something, and then pick them up as soon as they're in this state. So it's going to be somewhat of a manual process. I don't think I'm going to be able to automate all the attributes of it. Actually, thinking of that though, I might be contradicting myself right now. If I put pressure plates in the corners, I can kind of automate it because they don't touch the corners. When they're falling though, they might touch the corners, so. But yeah, I wasn't even considering actually automating this process. I was considering more of a drop them down, wait a second, make sure all babies are cleared out. The one concern I had was ensuring all babies are cleared out, because when you have 20 of these guys, it's very difficult to tell if there's like a baby inside this little horde of them. So this actually works out pretty well that they kind of go all in the middle and then horde out. So I'm justifying it now, but I think that's good. All right. Watching zombie pigmen regain a semblance of consciousness. That is very true. Very true. Okay, let's think about getting them out of this stupid thing. So, again, I don't think I need all 4 chambers. I think I'm going to go down to 2, 1 on each side. That should give enough clearance for these babies to clear out. And then I'm going to run mine carts through the system. The only concern I have there is that the minecart rails going to throw off the babies getting to the eggs. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, and it's just gonna have to be figured out. All right, so I'm gonna do this like glass trick where the carts can kind of go up through glass. Probably at this angle here, so the babies can't get out, but the carts can get out, in and out. And this shouldn't damage them, I don't think. Damage the piglins. So let's try this. Stuff is flying all over the place. All right. So what I was thinking is something along these lines. I think this will work. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pain in the butt to place, but whatever. Let's try to just place them all so we can test to make sure that the rails aren't going to interfere with the babies. All right. Whoa. Clone, clone, clone. What? No, no, stack. I always do that. I always do that. That's fine. Finish. Let's see. I want stack. Stack, not clone. And then I one shy, of course. Here we go. All right. All right. And I'll just do this little trick. Obviously, this is just for testing. I have to that's the thing, Zombified Piglin. I really need a nether waste. Actually, I'm in a Soul Sand Valley right now, and I'm gonna have to move this to a nether waste in order to spawn them, because I don't, yeah, it's certainly not a Soul Sand Valley. That's only, what is it, gas and skeletons that spawn here. So I have to find another waste that's close to the gaming district. So long story short, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to move these guys, because the portal the portal has to be at a certain location in order to connect to the portal of the game. So this portal may be a little bit of a distance away from my little spawning mechanism, which has to be in a nether waste biome. So I need to be able to move, you know, I need these rails to be able to be kind of located almost anywhere, like very modular. All right, let's get some levers going. So right now I'm just like literally gonna have these guys going back and forth. No, shut these off right now. I'm gonna have just minecarts going back and forth. Because my main test at this point is to make sure that these rails are not gonna mess with the spawning, or with not the spawning, with the traversing of the babies. Kind of looks cool though. Looks like a circuit, like a from a circuit board. All right, get these guys going. There's 1 baby, 2 babies, 3 babies, 4 babies. Oh, quite a few babies. All right, let's see if they do the same thing, even though they're on rails. You get back in there. Alright, they're still doing the same thing. Come on, break it up. Break it up. I like how once in a while they'll look out at me like, what are you doing, dude? We're just we're just being weirdos. Come on. I think because they're on a steady, like, complete rail. Oh, the babies aren't going to be able to get into this. Because I think the rails will block. Let's see. Oh, no, they can. They can. They can. We're good. We're good. Yep. 3 on this side. We're good. All right. I was thinking that the babies were exactly a block tall and they're going to hit their head on this slab because the bump up from the rail, but it does not look like that's the case. Good, good, good. Okay, now if I just do this. Oops. A little bit longer than that. Move, move. Kidding me? Alright, that's fine. Now, do I have to raise that? Oh, it's not going to go down with the jack wagon on it. Do I have to worry about the piglins escaping, really? Let's try another one. Leave it on. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, if it goes through, see that they're gonna get bumped though. That's the problem. They're gonna bump the minecart and it's gonna return. So I have to like do something that's either way. Yeah, if I slab it, maybe like something. I think it's gonna. I don't think he's gonna be able to get through because the minecart is actually catching that. But will it matter if that glass is not in place? Because the babies, are they gonna guarantee go to the turtle eggs and ignore this? That's the test. Oops. Let's test it. All right. Another test. I think the babies are going to ignore those openings. If they don't, then we're going to have to come up with something else. Which, I mean, I don't have to cover the whole thing with rails either. Like, that's a bit overkill. There's 1 baby. 2 babies. And a chicken jockey. Yeah, my bet is that they'll go straight to the the eggs as well. I agree with you. You just... The waiting game. Break it up. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that guy did it. I don't know where the... Oh, there is another one. There's a third, fourth, fifth. Yep. I think this is a pretty safe circuit. I do not think that these guys are going to touch this side. And if I do something like... Let's do rail, regular rail. Gosh, that's what it's gonna... All right, let's try this. See, they're bumping it. Bumping it, you bumpers. Did any get through? No, none got through. I guess that's not a big deal. I mean, I can kind of like route it around or something. And again, I don't have to have like, I got 7 rails right here. I mean, this is totally overkill, especially because they seem to gravitate to the corners. So I could probably just send one as a corner and then kind of route it around when it gets picked up. Might even, you know, maybe do the activator thing where as the mob comes through. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about how to actually move them in and out, but I'm happy that the babies are moving where the babies should be moved to. Let's do another test just to absolutely be certain that the babies are going to consistently go where the babies need to go and not get distracted. And then I think that'll be it for the stream. It's coming to stream end time. But I'd just like to do another test here. There's a baby. Another baby. Ooh, wow. A couple in a row. There we go. That's enough. Get back in there. It's always the babies that get out. I think it's because they have more momentum because they're faster. Waiting. Come on, break it up. I don't have my entity counter on in mini HUD. I'm just curious how many are in there. Like 25 or something, maybe 30. I love when the babies get pushed out and then they go running right back. Okay, here we go. It's all in unison too. There they go. Yeah, oh, they all went to the same side this time. That's fine. All right. Alright, good. I could try to run a rail right here, but I think the babies might get stuck. Let's just do that really quick. I just want to see what happens. Then when I build it in survival, I'm going to have to figure out whether they are gravitating to like the northeast corner or the southwest corner or something like that, because I'd want to orient it toward whatever they do gravitate to, unless it's just random. If this works. I'm not sure if this is what's going to work. I think the babies might get stuck. Come on, give me a baby. There we go. There's one. Oh my. This is so random. I mean, that's exactly what it is. it's so crazy that I can go for so long there. There's at least 3 or 4. I always get worried when I do that. I think I end up, oh, what do you guys? I think I end up having a few despawn. All right. Come on, break it up. Wow, I have a lot. This is way more than I've had in the past. Oh, he got out. They might have shoved them out, actually. Yeah, I think they're getting shoved out. There's just so many. No, they're just running. Okay, it's blocked, I think. Oh no, okay. When they decide. I love that their AI just freaks out on the rails. Okay, so it's definitely slowing them down. Of course, I spawned way too many. Alright, let's. Where'd he go? Yeah, he's stuck. I don't know how those other guys were getting through, but he is stuck. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I think they're getting stuck. I think the rails are preventing them from getting through. Yep. That guy's still stuck, or he got through. Oh no, he's still stuck too. Okay, so I can't put the rails there. Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know. Okay, I'll have to think of a device in order to get these guys out without blocking this little route. No big deal. Okay. All right, well, that is going to do it for the stream. Thank you so much, Aegis, basically, for hanging out. I owe it all to you, or else I would be talking to no one. Next week, same time, same place, I will hopefully have this pretty much wrapped up, I think, and start with maybe the aesthetics, the decorative stuff, and we'll see how it goes from there. Because I have a feeling this weekend I should have time to polish some stuff up, get this circuit working. I keep on calling it a circuit, this whatever module working. Fix my counter thing. I have some ideas, and then it's all just like decorating and getting it on Astrea. All right, so thank you so much again, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.